There's a kind of love that grows quietly. It doesn't come with big words or clear signs. Sometimes, even the person who feels it doesn't know it yet, not because he's hiding it, but because he hasn't realized how deep it really is. This is the kind of love that lives in the space between not knowing and truly feeling. And in that space, there are signs, subtle gestures, mixed feelings, actions that speak louder than words. In this video, we'll explore that hidden world, where the unconscious mind speaks, while the conscious mind is still silent. You'll learn how to recognize the one key sign. That shows he loves you more than he realizes. And once you see it, the way you understand your connection with him will never be the same. Love from the unconscious. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, believed that a big part of our mind works silently. It influences our choices, our reactions, and yes, even our love. He explained something called projection, where we put our hidden feelings onto someone else without knowing it. When a man feels close to you, cares for you, maybe even protects you, but still says he's not in love, it's possible that he's projecting parts of himself onto you, parts he hasn't fully accepted, like his sensitivity, his need for connection, or his emotions. The shadow side of love. Jung also introduced the idea of the shadow, the part of us we push down and hide from ourselves. Many men grow up being told not to cry, not to feel too much, not to seem weak, so they hide their emotions, not just from others, but from themselves. But those hidden feelings don't go away. They show up in other ways, like when he gets jealous but doesn't admit it, or when he wants to be close to you but keeps pulling away. These are signs that love exists inside him, even if he hasn't found the words yet. Mixed signals are real signals. He might say he's not ready for a relationship, but still feel hurt when you talk to someone else. He may avoid serious talks, but remember every little detail you told him. These mixed signals aren't games. They're signs of unconscious love. Love that's real, just not fully clear to him yet. His unconscious is speaking. The unconscious speaks through small, repeated actions, through slips of the tongue, through how his body reacts around you. He might reach for your hand when you're sad, get angry without knowing why, or act nervous when you get too close or too far. These aren't random. They're signs that something deeper is happening inside him. He may not know he's in love, but his soul does. Why understanding this matters? The gap between feeling something and understanding it. That's part of being human. Jung believed that our conscious mind is only a small part of who we are. Much of what we feel comes from deep within, from the soul. When love comes from the unconscious, it pushes to be seen. It wants to come into the light. And even before he says, "I love you," you might already feel it in his actions, his eyes, his confusion. What you can do. If you're someone who feels this silent love from him, don't rush him. Don't force him to see what he's not ready to see. Instead, just observe. Pay attention to what he does without thinking, to what he says and doesn't say. The unconscious doesn't lie, but it does speak in a different language, the language of symbols, gestures, contradictions. To understand this love, you need emotional maturity. It's not about wishful thinking. It's about learning to read the signs of a heart that's still waking up. Final thoughts for part 1. Sometimes, love doesn't begin with words. It begins in silence, in a look, a pause, a hesitation, in a feeling he can't explain. That's not fake. That's not confusion. That's real love rising from his soul, even if he doesn't know it yet. And when you learn to see that one sign, that one gesture that shows he loves you more than he realizes, you're not just seeing his love. You're witnessing his soul, beginning to speak. Sometimes, the deeper a man feels love, the more afraid he becomes. But this fear isn't always something he knows. It hides in the background, deep inside the part of him he rarely visits. Carl Jung called this hidden part the shadow. The shadow is made of everything we've been taught to hide: our fears, our emotions, our softness, our pain. And for many men, love lives in that shadow, especially the kind of love that requires real vulnerability. Why he pulls away when it gets real. He might feel a strong connection with you, laugh with you, care for you, protect you. But when things get emotionally deep, he suddenly backs off, becomes distant, or even starts a fight. You might think, did I do something wrong? But often it's not about you. It's his own shadow trying to protect him. To his unconscious mind, love feels like a risk of being hurt, of losing control, of being seen too deeply. He's not playing games. He's protecting himself. It's easy to think he's playing with your feelings, but in many cases, he's not being dishonest. He's being overwhelmed. When he feels something real, his shadow steps in like a guard, saying, "Be careful. Don't open up. You could get hurt." So he might say he's not ready, or act cold just when things are getting warm. He might even convince himself it's not love, just to feel safe. The hidden conflict inside him. Imagine two forces inside him. One wants to move closer to you, to love you, to open up. The other wants to pull back, to stay in control, to avoid pain. This creates confusion, for him and for you. One moment he's present and caring, the next he's distant and unsure. But this doesn't mean he doesn't care. It means he's in the middle of an inner conflict between love and fear. What love triggers in his past. When love touches something deep inside, it can awaken old memories. Maybe he was hurt before. Maybe he learned early on not to trust closeness. Maybe no one ever showed him how to love and be loved. So now, even when love feels good, it also feels scary. And because he hasn't faced those hidden wounds, his reactions may not match his true feelings. What the shadow tries to do, Jung said that whatever we deny in ourselves doesn't go away. It just gains more power. So when he denies his vulnerability, his sensitivity, his emotional needs, they don't disappear. They show up in unexpected ways. Jealousy without reason, needing to be near you, even if he says he doesn't want trouble moving on, even when he acts like he doesn't care. These reactions are his shadow speaking. How you can respond if you're on the receiving end of this. If you see him pulling away right when things get deep, it's easy to feel hurt, confused, even rejected. But try to look beyond his words. Pay attention to the contradictions, when he avoids closeness but still shows up. When he says, "I don't know what I feel," but still cares deeply. These are signs he's not fully aware of his love yet. Don't lose yourself in his process. Loving someone who is struggling with his own emotions requires both empathy and strength. You can understand his inner battle, but don't forget your own needs. You're not here to fix him, but to recognize what's happening and protect your own emotional balance, too. The shadow can be transformed. The good news is, the shadow doesn't have to stay in control. Jung believed that once we face our hidden parts, we can grow. The man who avoids love today can become the man who welcomes it tomorrow. but only if he's willing to look inward. And your presence, your patience, your understanding can be the mirror that helps him begin that journey. The space between fear and love. If he seems confused, if he stays but doesn't commit, if he pulls back but doesn't let go, he's likely in the space between fear and love, between shadow and light. And just recognizing that, instead of demanding instant clarity, can change everything. Because when you see the invisible movement inside him, you stop waiting for perfect words and start seeing the deeper truth. Final thoughts for part 2. When a man starts to love deeply, he may not have the words yet. He may even deny it. But his actions, reactions, and contradictions will speak for him. And when you can see that, you become not just someone he loves, but someone who understands the path his heart is trying to take. This kind of love takes time. But what is real will always find its way to grow. There are times when a man meets someone, and something inside him changes. He may not understand it. He may not even be ready for it. But something deep has been touched. He finds himself thinking about her, wanting to be near her, feeling things he didn't expect. This isn't just attraction. It's something far more powerful, something from the soul. The anima, his inner feminine side. In Jungian psychology, there's a beautiful concept, the anima, the feminine part inside every man. It has nothing to do with gender or roles. It's about emotions, sensitivity, softness, the ability to connect and surrender. When a man falls in love, especially deeply, it's often because the woman reminds him of a hidden part of himself, a part he's been missing. She becomes a mirror of his anima, his inner feminine energy calling to be seen, to be loved, to be embraced. Why he feels so much, but acts so confused. When this happens, he may feel drawn to her in a way he can't explain. He might say, "I don't understand what's happening." He may pull back, then return. He may be fascinated and afraid at the same time. Why? Because through her, he's facing himself. Not just the outer world, but his inner world. She reflects the side of him that longs to love fully, to feel deeply, to be vulnerable, but hasn't yet learned how. She is more than just a woman to him. To him, this woman is not just someone special. She is symbolic. She represents the emotional depth he never knew he had, and being near her makes him feel more alive, but also more unsure. It's not just about romance. It's about reconnection with his own soul. That's why he may look at her with a kind of wonder, as if she holds a secret he's been searching for without knowing it. The power and danger of projection. But here's the challenge. When he sees his anima in her, he may not realize that some of what he feels is actually about himself. This is called projection. He projects his own emotions, dreams, and longings onto her. He doesn't see her fully for who she is. He sees a reflection of the part of him that's been sleeping. This can cause confusion, because his feelings are real, but they're also mixed with what he hasn't yet healed. How you can hold that space. If you're the woman in this story, the one who awakens something deep in a man, it's important to stay grounded. He may not be ready to explain what he feels. He may not know why he acts hot and cold. But if you can see beyond the confusion, you'll realize his heart is opening, but it's still learning how to stay open. This doesn't mean you should wait forever or carry all the emotional weight. It means you can offer understanding without losing your own clarity. His journey toward integration. Jung said that projection can be the first step toward individuation, the journey to become whole. When a man begins to recognize that what he feels isn't just about the woman, but also about himself, something powerful happens. He starts to take responsibility for his emotions. He becomes more conscious. He begins to love not just with his instincts, but with his awareness. And slowly, the love that was once chaotic or hidden becomes something solid, deep, and conscious. Why he hesitates to commit, even if he feels everything. Sometimes he may say, "I'm not ready," or "I don't know what I want." But you can see in his eyes, in his presence, in the way he listens to you, that he feels everything. This isn't because he's playing with you. It's because you've touched something he's still learning to handle. He may be falling in love, not just with you, but with his own depth for the first time. You are the mirror, not the answer. Remember, you didn't cause these feelings in him. You revealed them. You are the mirror that helps him see his soul. But that doesn't mean it's your job to heal him, fix him, or wait forever. Your role is simply to see what's really happening and to stand in your own power while he moves through his process. When unconscious love becomes conscious, over time, if he allows space for reflection, for inner work, for growth, that love will change. It will become clearer. It will begin to show in words, in choices, in presence. What was once a confusing pull will become a conscious bond. Final thoughts for part 3. When a man feels more than he understands, it often means he's awakening, not just to love, but to his true self. You, the one who touched his heart, may not always hear a declaration, but you'll feel the shift in the way he looks at you, stays close to you, chooses you, even without saying why. This is not just a love story. It's a story of transformation. And the one sign, the look, the gesture, the pause, isn't just about him loving you. It's about him learning to love himself through the reflection he sees in you. There are moments when a man pauses before walking away. Moments when he looks at you and it feels like he wants to say something, but can't find the words. It's in these quiet moments that his soul is trying to speak. Even if his mind still doesn't understand, his heart is already on the path. The beginning of inner awakening. When a man starts feeling more than he can explain, he enters a space of transformation. He may feel confused. He may try to stay away. He may even convince himself that it's nothing serious. But deep inside, something has already changed. Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming whole. And sometimes, love is the very thing that wakes this journey. When he can't deny the feeling anymore, at first he might resist. He'll try to keep things simple. But slowly love begins to show up. Not in grand gestures, but in small, real ways. He starts remembering little things about you. He checks in more often. He listens differently. He softens. He may still not say, "I love you," but his presence starts speaking louder than words, because something inside him has begun to shift. The struggle between fear and feeling. Real love makes us feel exposed, and for many men, that's scary. They've been taught to stay in control, to hide emotion, to never appear weak. So when he feels deeply, his first instinct may be to run, to pull away, to protect himself. But if he keeps coming back, if he stays, even silently, it's a sign that his soul is moving toward love, even if his mind is still catching up. You are witnessing his becoming. When you see a man go through this, the hesitation, the contradiction, the care that leaks through his silence, you're not just witnessing love. You're witnessing his becoming. He's learning how to be more whole, more real, more open. He may not even know how much he's changing, but you'll see it in the way he begins to show up. From unconscious to conscious love, there's a moment in this journey when he finally sees it. This is love. He may not shout it, but he'll begin to live it. His love will become conscious, not just a feeling, but a choice. He will start to act with intention. He will protect what he values. He will choose depth over comfort. That one sign, the look, the stillness, the decision to stay, becomes the turning point. It's no longer just emotion. It's now awareness. Love is a path of healing. When a man starts loving consciously, he begins to heal. He faces old fears. He understands past wounds. He softens toward parts of himself he once rejected, and through this healing, he becomes more capable of loving deeply, without fear. You, the woman who touched his soul, may never know the full impact you had, but through you, he found a doorway back to himself. Letting love unfold in its time. It's important to remember, his journey is his own. You can't rush it, you can't force a realization, but you can honor it by seeing what's real, by recognizing that even silent love is still love, especially when it's growing into awareness. Closing reflection, seeing the unseen. So when he doesn't say it out loud, but everything in him whispers it, listen. When he stays close but looks away, notice. When he fumbles, hesitates, but keeps returning, understand. He may not yet have the words, but love is already moving through him. It's shaping him, changing him, leading him toward something more true. And you, by choosing to see the invisible, have become part of that transformation. Final message to the viewer. Love is not always loud. Sometimes it's silent, hidden, growing in the quiet corners of the soul. But it's real, and when a man begins to awaken to it, when he starts to integrate what he once feared, a deeper kind of love is born, not from ego, but from truth. If this message spoke to your heart, remember, you don't need to be told you're loved to feel it when it's real. Sometimes love is not in the words. It's in the eyes, the presence, the unspoken yes. And that kind of love, it changes everything.